Welcome to our explainer. Today, we're diving into a fascinating text from the 16th century that offers a pretty surprising answer to one of the biggest questions in all of philosophy. So, here's the big question. What is the ultimate reality? Is it just some formless energy, kind of like a cosmic force field? Or is it a supreme person? A being with a will and a personality? People have argued about this for, well, forever. But what if it's not a simple either-or choice?
Well, this text proposes a pretty radical answer. It's both. And even more than that, a philosopher named Jiva Goswami, looking at this ancient work, the Srimad Bhagavatam, came up with this really cool idea. He said these aren't two different things fighting for the top spot. Nope, they're just different ways of seeing the exact same single truth.
Okay, so let's get into the first big idea: one truth, three views. And the magic number here, it's 3. There are 3 main ways to understand this one absolute truth, and each one gives you a clearer, more complete picture than the last.
And this whole idea really comes from one specific verse. It's the foundation for everything we're talking about. It names these 3 features for us. Brahman, that's the formless, all-pervading spiritual light. Then there's Paramatma, that's the supersoul, who's inside every single atom. And finally, you have Bhagavan, the supreme person himself. Now, to make this a little less abstract, the texts give us this awesome analogy. Picture a train coming towards you at night. Way off in the distance, what's the first thing you see? Just a bright light, right? A glowing circle. That's Brahman, the impersonal, formless energy. Okay, now the train gets a little closer. You start to see its shape, the cars, the structure. That's Paramatma. You see the localized form. But it's only when that train pulls right into the station and you look in the cabin and see the person actually driving the whole thing, that's Bhagavan, the complete personal source behind it all. So, according to this text, if Bhagavan is the most complete picture, the engineer of the train, then that's where we need to look to really understand where everything comes from. And what this means is pretty huge. The ultimate source of everything isn't some empty void or a neutral energy. No. The texts describe Bhagavan as the supreme person, full of amazing qualities, with a form and a real personality. He's the original source, and both that impersonal light, Brahman, and that localized soul, Paramatma, they both come from him.
Okay, but that brings up a pretty big question, right? If the ultimate source is one single person, how in the world does he create and manage, countless universes? It sounds like a massive logistical challenge. Well, believe it or not, the system has a very specific answer.
And this is where we meet the cosmic creators. The answer lies in something called Purusha incarnations.
You can think of them like cosmic CEOs or project managers. They're direct expansions of the Supreme Being, and their specific job is to interact with the material world and, well, bring entire universes to life.
So this whole creation thing happens in 3 massive steps. Step 1, a being called Mahavishnu just glances over the material energy, and from the pores of his skin, bam, innumerable universes are created, just like that. Step 2, another expansion, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, then enters every single one of those universes to kind of set up the internal structure. And finally, step 3, Kshirodakashayi Vishnu expands from him and enters the heart of every living being and every single atom. And guess what? That all-pervading presence, that's the Paramatma, the supersoul we were talking about earlier. See how it all connects?
And here's a really wild detail. Once Garbhodakashayi Vishnu is inside a universe, a giant lotus flower sprouts from his navel. And sitting on top of that lotus is Lord Brahma, who acts as the secondary creator, or maybe the chief engineer for that one particular universe.
Now, this whole idea of a supreme being entering the universe leads us to a really famous concept, one that a lot of people get kind of wrong. We're talking about the universal form. This is called the Virat Rupa. It's this idea where you visualize the entire cosmos as the Lord's body. So, for example, the planets are seen as different parts of this giant form. But, and this is a really important but, the original text throws in a major clarification.
The text is super clear here. It says this form is imagined. The Sanskrit word is kalpitaha. So the universal form isn't literally the Lord's real eternal body. It's a concept, a way of thinking about it.
So you might be asking, why imagine it at all then? Well, it's a tool. It's a powerful tool for meditation. For someone who's just starting out and finds it hard to think about a spiritual form beyond this world, it helps them focus. It helps them see the divine in the material world they already know, and to connect their mind to something huge and sacred.
All right, let's connect all these cosmic dots. We've talked about one truth with 3 different views, and we've gone through this incredible step-by-step process of creation. It's time to bring it all home. And another verse from the text really ties it all together. It says that the original Supreme Person, Bhagavan, is none other than Lord Sri Krishna, and it's he who expands himself into those cosmic creators, the Portia incarnations, to get the whole universal show on the road.
So here's the whole blueprint from top to bottom. You start with Sri Krishna, the original source. From him, you get Mahavishnu, the creator of all the universes. Then, from him, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, who enters each individual universe. And from him, you get Shirodakashayi Vishnu, who becomes the supersoul, that Paramatma, inside every single thing. It's an incredible cosmic flowchart.
And what we end up with is this amazing, cohesive system. You don't have to choose between a personal God and an impersonal energy anymore. This framework shows how they're just different facets of one single ultimate personal source. That big question we started with, this model provides a pretty complete answer.
So this whole cosmic model, which starts with a person who intentionally creates everything, it leaves us with a really deep question to chew on. If the universe isn't just some random cosmic accident, if it's actually an emanation from a supreme, conscious person, then does that mean it all has a purpose? Something to think about.